The Bible is arguably the most enigmatic book of all time. Its depth and richness of narrative, songs, poetry, law, prophecy, and eschatology is unrivaled in its class. This text confounded many for centuries. Attributed to the divine inspiration of the Most High Yah, only a select few were privileged to be able to unravel the mysteries that lie beneath. Today, there are tons of academic gatekeepers who have been able to unlock this coded script using a variety of techniques mostly unknown to laymen. However, today this is no longer the case. Thankfully, Divine Prospect has spent 15 years playing the spook who sat by the door to gather intel on how to best approach the text and get the most objective understanding possible. He is making these techniques available to the general public in the upcoming KHM Holistic Research Paradigm for Bible Study classes. For the first time, be able to read the text the way it was intended by the author to his immediate audience. Once you've been able to successfully decipher the scripture, you will then learn how to map it to modern times and yield a harvest of actual results. Sign up today by going to www.patreon.com/Divine Prospect and join the $50 tier to reserve your spot. Seats are extremely limited, so take advantage of this opportunity before it's too late. Peace and shalom.
All right. Peace and shalom, family. It's your brother Divine Prospect, Kingdom Harbinger Ministries, back in the building. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Checking in with y'all. It's been a rough month for me. Had to go out of town for a funeral and take care of some family affairs. So it's been pretty rough since mid-July until now, which is almost about a month and a half. But this month I had to travel and take care of some affairs. I still have some more left to take care of. I shared a portion of this on the Patreon. So if you're not on the Patreon, sign up for the Patreon, www.patreon.com/Divine Prospect, and you'll get to see the eulogy that I performed in regards to the funeral that I attended. And y'all can check it out. Hopefully it can encourage somebody and empower somebody. It was rough for me doing it, but I got through it. And I'm still here. So all praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. All right. So I'm going to wait a few minutes for some of you to join in. This will not be a particularly long live stream because I do want to get some rest this extended weekend. If I'm able to, I will try to go live over the holiday weekend, but I try not to make any promises because, when you have kids and other responsibilities, it's kind of difficult to do all of that. But I'm going to attempt to do so. If at the very least, I'll upload a 1 or 2 Clubhouse sessions. I'm on Clubhouse frequently because it's very easy, like I mentioned before, to jump in and out of Clubhouse, especially if I'm not the host. Right. And in somebody else's room, I'm invited to a room or I join a room. I can go in and have conversations and discussions. And I can mute my mic when I need to mute, come back on when I need to come on, put BRB, etc. When I do a live stream, it's a straight session. So I don't have those breaks in between. And plus video shown along with audio as opposed to Clubhouse, which only has the video. Only has the audio, not video. So it's a little more convenient for me to do it that way, but I'm always on Clubhouse. And if you have Clubhouse, you can find me at Divine Prospect on Clubhouse. I'm on there weekly, several times a week, if I'm able to. And I'm on there more than I'm on live here. So if you want to continue to follow the discussions that I have and the information that I learn and I share, Clubhouse is a good source to do so. All right. All right, that's the first thing. All right, now, second thing, we had a live stream on Patreon. It was our first Patreon live stream, my first time using the live stream option on Patreon. I will use it going forward, but I will use it in a different capacity than here. And the reason for that is because there's no screen share option on the Patreon live stream, which is disappointing because to me, it's not really a live stream unless you can share. Or even have a banner like you see here on the screen or the name and subtitle that you see here on the screen, where I could play videos, I can share a PowerPoint, I can share, the Bible Hub and Blue Letter screens. I can't do none of that on Patreon, which is unfortunate. So I will utilize the live stream functionality there. It's just that I will give more feedback to upper management in Patreon, because I've been working closely with them and making some changes, right? And they've made a lot of good changes that helps to benefit what we're there to do, right, on Patreon. But their live stream has a lot of work to do, because I wanted to share live, actual live PowerPoint or slide deck. And I'm going to do it here, right? Because unfortunately, I wasn't really able to flesh it out the way I wanted to on there, because I couldn't share the slides on screen. I shared it in the chat. I wasn't able to share it on the screen. So here, I do want to go over this with you guys. And I'm going to say this. Those of you who did join that live session on Patreon, you'll have first dibs into the giveaway, because we're doing a giveaway, right? I'm going to share what those items are in a moment, but we're doing a giveaway, and those who was on the live stream on the Patreon have first dibs on the giveaway, right? But I'm going to go through this with you, because I think this is extremely important, and being that this is a Kingdom Harbinger Ministries YouTube channel, sometimes I take it over and do Divine Prospect stuff, but it's Kingdom Harbinger Ministries YouTube channel. I do have to speak about the services, programs, products, etc., that's offered by KHM, what's going on in the KHM community, what is KHM doing in the community, whether that's the community at large or whether that's the Israelite community. I am obligated to share those things and go through those things with you, because that is the ministry community aspect of KHM. And then we have the teaching education, which is Divine Prospect. And then we have our programs and services that we do offer, whether it's a subsidiary of KHM or whether it's part of KHM services that they offer, right? So I do want to give this very brief presentation because I think that it's vital for those of us who are into autonomy and want to self-govern various aspects of not only our lives, but our children's lives. The more control we have over teaching and educating our children, the more cultural values we can instill into them, the more well-rounded they will be. And the more as parents, right, we could feel that we've achieved something, right, provided them with a well-rounded, high-quality education that maybe some of us didn't have in grade school. Right. So I do want to present this to you guys. We have a program / service called the Ezra Institute. Formerly was called KHM Virtual Homeschooling Ministry. I believe that's what it is. And we launched that in 2021. We brought 20 plus students in through that. And I've connected them with academies, as well as doing assessment exams with them and seeing where their strengths and weaknesses lie, so we can pair them up with the appropriate Israelite, or I would say Bible foundational. The Bible is the foundation of these academies, academies that align with their cultural paradigms, with their subscription systems, etc. And 20 of those students have excelled, right? And they have overachieved whatever their peers were able to accomplish. And they continue to exceed the standards that's set by public and charter schools in their local areas, right? So I want to make sure we continue on that trend. We really didn't push much of the virtual homeschool last year. We did it 2021, 22, 23 for 3 years. We paused last year. I'm going to pick it back up this year, right? Just like our back to school giveaways. We did one in 2020, 2021. I think we did 4 of them from 2020, 2023. We didn't do nothing last year. And then this year, we're going to resume that, right? Because that's a vital, like I mentioned earlier, a vital part of what this community is about, is ensuring that our children have a high quality education, right? And that the scriptures is at the foundation of that education. So I'm going to show a brief PowerPoint. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to present also the giveaways that you can win. So stay tuned for the giveaway portion after the PowerPoint. And if we do have enough time, then I'll take 1 or 2 questions in regards to Freestyle Friday. And if not, don't sweat. All right. Like I said, I'm going to aim to go live. We have 3 days, all right, 3-day weekend with Labor Day on Monday for me to go live again. And it may be late at night, but either way, I'll be able to have something out there. And if I don't get enough questions to answer, if it's very late, then I'll just find something to teach. There's a million things to teach and present it to you guys. Or like I said, I'll just capture a couple of Clubhouse sessions that I've generated recently and be able to post it on the channel to keep you guys occupied, right, until our next live stream. All right. So, yeah, so I appreciate you guys, the ones that did come out to the Patreon live stream. And I'm going to go ahead and begin this session for you guys right now. And this is the beauty of having What? Screen share. Patreon, you gotta get your act together, bro. Seriously. All right, so let's go ahead and share this. Let me place it on screen for you. So give me 1 second. All right. All right, let's share it. All right. All right. Oh, stepped on the last slide. There we go. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in right now. I want to say peace and shalom. Now, I've extended the giveaway now to publicly for everybody that's watching this. You do have to go to the Patreon in order to be eligible. You have to be subscribed to Patreon to be eligible and to be entered into the giveaway. And I'm going to go over the prizes in a moment. We have 3 back to school book bags with supplies, and we have 2 laptops that we're giving out. One of the laptops is an Apple MacBook Air M4. All right. And you do have a chance to win that. But you do have to help us so that we can give these things away. Okay. But before any of that, I do want to go over this quick parent orientation for the Ezra Institute. It's only 7 slides. It's not that long. And we'll go from there. So this is the Ezra Institute. This is, again, a rebranded service / program from KHM. And it will be its own subsidiary soon once we get the staffing, like the other 2 programs, Jubilee Manumission and Naturopath to Eden. But the Ezra Institute is more focused on childhood education or K-12 education. And we're giving this parent orientation because we want to turn our students into scholars, right? And we want to ensure that there's an unbroken chain of quality education and higher learning in the K-12 range as well, that our children who are students can get at a scholarly level, right? And we want to make sure that they're well-rounded, that their skills, their gifts, their talents are fully exercised and utilized. And then where their weaknesses are, that we can go ahead and kind of cover that rear, right? Where those weaknesses are and bring them up to speed and up to standard, right? So we want to ensure that our children are well-rounded when they go into society and they can deal with any challenge that comes their way with Yah at the forefront, right? First and foremost, a community that backs them and a cultural education that fortifies them, right? So Kingdom Harbinger Ministries developed the Ezra Institute, and we're going into details about how that came about. But this is something new that KHM is offering or rebranded. I mean, we've been offering for a couple of years now, but it took 1 year to rebrand it. And the Ezra Institute was born, right? Or reborn, right? Let's go into the first slide and continue this real quick. All right. So the first thing is, what is the Ezra Institute? Okay. The Ezra Institute was founded on the principle of the historical biblical character named Ezra. Ezra is credited with establishing schools for scribal scholars. He established the Beit HaMidrash, which is the house of learning or house of study, which provided a framework for teaching the Torah to both young and old, including the formal study of scriptures. Ezra's initiative is in establishing a formal system of instruction is considered a key precursor to the later public school system. Ezra's contributions to education is what inspired us to create a virtual homeschooling opportunity for K-12 scribal scholars to maximize their potential and change society for the better. All right. So when we learn about Ezra, not just what we have in scripture, but what is known traditionally about Ezra and what he established, he created the precursor to formal instructions and a formal system of education. So we wanted to create an institute in his name because he represents our Israelite culture, and take the principles that he laid down, formal instructions, and having a basis and a root in Torah, and being able to turn it into a formal system of education, instruction for learning and development for both young and old. And we want to build a house of learning, a house of study that is autonomous to our community, right? So that is the inspiration behind the Ezra Institute and why we've crafted it, why it's designed the way it's designed, because it is a gateway for our children to enter into a quality of education that they cannot get outside of our community, right? So that's what that is there, right? So we're gonna go on to the next slide, right? So next slide. What do we do, right? We assess the gifts, talents, skills, and curiosity of potential homeschooling students and pair them with biblically grounded virtual academies that draw out the best in them or in children. Our goal is to ensure they get the most well-rounded education at home that exceeds standards set for public schools. This advantage will guide them to higher learning to achieve a scribal scholar status, all right? And that's what we do. Right. We are pretty much the front-facing introduction to this higher learning element that is installed in the K-12 schools. We are here to intake potential students. We're here to assess those same students, and we're here to pair those students with subsequent academies that will then take it off from there once we do the handoff to ensure that the students or the candidate students are pretty much in alignment with the strengths of the academy, and then that potential student as well can get support from us, the Ezra Institute, if there's any issues, concerns, questions as it pertains to that academy, and to ensure that there are several options that's offered with these academies, right? So you'll see in the next couple of screens where we have various options, 3 options in particular, to help parents that are interested in homeschooling, whether this is something brand new for you and you want to delve in on something you've been doing for some time, we do have some options for you that's available to assist with this particular journey, right? Because this is a unique journey. It may be brand new for some people, or some people may be doing it and feel like they don't have the proper curriculum, proper resources and assistance really to make the biggest impact they would like to with their children. But this is an opportunity to do so, right? Especially now in 2025, a lot of parents are now working from home. We have a lot of work from home parents. You have a lot of stay-at-home moms, stay-at-home dads, and they're sending their children to school when that could be a prime opportunity for them to connect their children with homeschooling academies, right? So they can maintain that autonomous status and ensure that we're able to govern and monitor the quality education that are imbued into our children, right? And we're trying to turn our children or students into future scholars, right? In their respective areas that will best bring out their gifts, skills, and talents that Yah has given them, all right? So that's what we do. That's why we exist, et cetera, et cetera, all right? So what homeschooling options are available, right? So I mentioned there are 3 homeschooling options are available, and you can take advantage of either 3 of them, and let us know which one best aligns with your needs for what you are looking to do, what you're targeting in regards to your child, and how much involvement you want to have in regards to their development and growth with virtual homeschooling, right? So the first one, option 1, is curriculum support, all right? Many of our families seek to homeschool but do not have the right tools to be successful. An academy can partner with them to close this gap. How? Families obtain access to our curriculum. How much? Use of our accredited curriculum will cost $60 a month and a one-time annual fee for the technology and registration of $200 per student. Ideas: this is a great way for small groups of students to work together in assemblies. So if you have an assembly, a congregation, a camp, or whatever the case may be, and you have parents that want to homeschool the children in that camp, congregation, assembly, etc., right? This is a great opportunity to do so, right? We provide you with the curriculum that is vetted and accredited that you can use and install immediately and provide support around that curriculum. It is $60 a month per student with a $200 registration fee for technology and other uses of providing the service. And this is a huge discount from private schools and other online K-12 organizations and educational institutes, right? We're giving this to you for a fraction of that cost, right? Because we want to make sure that this cost is affordable, right, to almost everybody in the community. A good thing that you will see with full enrollment is that scholarships are offered as well. So I'm going to give a personal testimony. My youngest son, is in one of these homeschooling, full enrollment in a homeschool academy. And he got a full scholarship for the entire school year, right? So we didn't have to pay a dime for him to go to school. It took care of supplies, tuition, and we still have some funds left over. So all praise to the Most High that we have those instructors in our community that are able to establish these academies to allow our children to get quality education at no cost. It's almost similar to sending him to public school, right? But I said, no, I want all my children to go through this homeschooling academy because I want them to benefit from something that I did not have the opportunity to. Because the greatest difference between this and public schools, charter schools, and the secular realm is that Yah's at the center, right? The kids, they pray collectively. The kids, they worship collectively. The kids meditate on the word. They do all of this prior to going into their academic studies. And this is what's missing from secular schools. Secular schools do not have these options or do not do these things anymore, right? For rightful reasons. So we have to control the narrative as it pertains to how our children are educated and how Yah's at the center of it, because with Yah at the center, they're able to exceed and go beyond the call of duty as it pertains to what's required of them, right? We feel the standards that are given by the school sometimes is unreasonable, and we're designed for other ethnic groups. And as a result, we get marginalized, right? So we want to remove that border and that line of demarcation and allow our children to get access to quality education, even with scholarships at a free cost, right? And doing so without any restrictions that may remove them from competing with every other ethnic group, because Yah has created us to be excellent, right? He created us to be a people above all other peoples. Not that we're better than all other peoples, but we've been given greater responsibility and we have an inherent obligation to set the standard of excellence. How can we do that if we're not governing the quality of education that our children are receiving? Okay, so that is option one. Option two goes a little further than option one, and option two is curriculum support with grading. Get all the benefits of option one and add grading from academy educators. We can also assist with enrolling high school students in dual enrollment programs at their local colleges so they can earn college credit and finish high school early. We have some great success stories. Additional perks: dual enrollment assistance, grading, and the option to obtain support for math and language art classes as needed or if needed. Live instruction and real-time support, you can get that as well. Cost: this program will range from $85 to $105 a month, depending upon the grade, with a $200 annual registration and technology fee per student. Now, the benefit of this one is that the dual enrollment for high school students. So my oldest child, right, who's in high school, is also dual enrolled in college and taking college courses and getting college credit while in high school. So by the time he graduates high school, because he'll be able to graduate early, by the time he graduates high school, he'll have at least almost 3 semesters worth of college course credits. No, 4 semesters worth of college course credits, right? So where can you beat that at? That is exceptional. That is giving him that head start that he wouldn't have gotten if he was in public school or charter schools or anywhere else that doesn't offer a dual enrollment program. So we have to keep these things in mind. This is the personal testimony, right? Because we have success stories. That's one of them. And we have to keep these things in mind, because if we're going to give our children the edge, especially in 2025, going into the future, our children need every edge they can get, every benefit, every tool, every opportunity that they can get, because we're competing with a beast system that is designed to keep them oppressed and marginalize us from the actual race. Where when I say race, I'm talking about as far as us being a community, having all our internal resources and being able to exceed every other ethnic group that's around us. When we follow the Torah teaches us that in Deuteronomy chapter 20, verses 1 to 14, what all the blessings are. We will be the head and not the tail. But unfortunately, when we look at the statistics, we are the tail and not the head as it pertains to education. And the reason for that is because we don't have our identity restored to us. We don't have a culture. We don't know our history. And when you remove all of these and don't have Yah at the center, this is why we're at a disadvantage. But when we obey Yah and we create programs and services like this to imbue our children with the blessings, right, that is owed to them when they obey Yah and they understand at the forefront before they go into the academic courses. Man, children outperform their peers because this is what's embedded in our DNA, and we're just unlocking what's already there, right? So you see the benefit of this for option 2 with curriculum support because they help with dual enrollment in regards to high school and college. And if you need additional grading support, you're able to get provided that, etc. Great option for great opportunities. Move forward. So the next slide is going to be what homeschooling options are available, right? Well, here's option 3, enrolled student, full student enrollment. So let's say that you work at home, but you don't have the time due to work to actually watch over your child to homeschool them, right? Or be an instructor yourself. Well, here's an opportunity where you can put them right in front of the computer and they would get the same quality education that they would give in a physical school without the distractions, right? So it says they benefit from all the services associated with a well-performing school system. This includes report cards, progress reports, standardized testing, etc. Cost enrollment at a academy will cost between $160 to $235 a month, depending upon the grade of the scholar and the number of members from the body who enroll, right? So again, talking about if you have a congregation, a camp, assembly, etc., right? Because you can get a group or bulk discount. The final amount would be determined in a scheduled consultation. So consultations are designed for one-on-ones so that the needs that you have are customized and met appropriately, right? Students in the state of Georgia can enroll in a local academy and apply for a state-issued scholarship that the academy is eligible to receive. For these students, normal tuition rates are applied. So I'll say this one more time. So my youngest son got a full scholarship in kindergarten. He's in kindergarten now, got a full scholarship, so we don't pay a dime for it. And my oldest son also got a scholarship for his dual enrollment. That means he's not paying for the college courses. It's all paid for, right? With tuition covered, books, etc. So again, this is beneficial because you get to see the immediate ROI on your investment, right? And your investment is your child, and you want them to get quality education. And these are 3 options that are available to you at a low cost, so that's affordable for everybody in the community. So if you do have the time, or let's say you may not have the time, but let's say you have a high school student, you can put them in while you go to work, right? And they could be home, they could finish their courses. And the thing also is with the instruction they receive, they give them so much potency in such a compact amount of time that the duration of their classes are much shorter than they would get in public school, right? And because the curriculum is customized according to the needs of that student, they absorb it better, they retain it better, they're able to regurgitate it better, they understand it mechanically, right? So these are great benefits that we don't get elsewhere, where every other ethnic group, they have these systems installed in their community, but we don't have it. But now we have that, and there's no more excuses. We have the opportunity. So it's all in what you can afford to put your child in, the investment that you want them to have, the best education you want them to have. And again, if you have a congregation, a camp, an assembly, a church, etc., this is a great opportunity where you can get more than just your child involved and have that community of students working together, doing studies together, doing classes together, et cetera, et cetera. We can build a real community that way because other communities are already doing this. We're the only ones at a disadvantage. All right. So that's all I want to share with you on today. How do you get started, right? What are the next steps? Well, the first one is you email us your interests, right? That you're interested in putting your child in the virtual homeschooling programs or getting curriculum support, etc. To kingdomharbinger@gmail.com with the subject line Ezra Institute, right? So we can filter through the emails that we get and we can cater to you as soon as possible, right? The second one is we will email you back a sign-up registration form. This is just to capture some data about you and your student. So that way we can then move on to the next phase, which is once you fill out that form, you complete and return it to us, then we'll send an assessment exam for your child to discover their interests, skills, gifts, talents, and academic strengths and weaknesses, because this information is important in us aligning them and pairing them up with the appropriate academy. All right. And then once you complete and return that assessment exam, then we will pair you and your child with one of the Ezra Institute's academies that best fits your child's journey to excellence. Right. And that is the goal. Right. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. And on the 4th step, we already pair your child to where they need to go and get them started immediately with that educational excellence that they will receive. Now, there's a lot of questions in regards to this. Some people say, well, if my child's already in public school, how does that work? We can take care of all of that for you, right? That's not a big deal, right? There may be some parents say, hey, can I get a crash course of how this curriculum support thing works? Or we'll set up the one-on-one consultations, right? So you'll be able to speak with the instructors and you'll be able to see what options are available. We'll take care of your questions that you have. We'll make sure you're completely satisfied before you make this investment in putting your child in one of these virtual homeschooling academies. All right. So fret not. There's nothing to worry about. Again, KHM has been doing this for at least 3 years, and this is our 4th year doing this. So we've seen the ups and downs, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So we've streamlined the process so that way in 2025, you get the best results or the best outcome from the trial and error that we experienced in the past with doing this system. All right. All right. And that was it. So I appreciate y'all for sitting back and taking this in. Even if it's not applicable to you, please share it with a cousin or a brother, sister, or another family member, a friend, a coworker. There's somebody that could benefit from this where they want their children to have a high quality education with a higher learning perspective of teaching and instructions, with something that's catered to your child's specific needs, right? Based on their skills, gifts, talents, etc. that Yah has imbued into them, and be able to hone and grow that gift and make sure that it develops in the right way, right? Just like a tender plant is growing up, it needs the proper nutrients from the soil. It needs to be watered frequently. It needs UV light, etc. You want to make sure your child gets all of these things in all areas, free of distractions, so they can focus on what they're learning on and be able to maximize that potential that Yah has placed in them that lays dormant, because these secular schools are not trying to tap into that, right? We know what it is because we're tapped in, and we want to tap your child in as well and get you involved in the process as well. So for sitting through the session, we would like to invite you to sign up to one of our Patreon subscriptions. If you don't already know, go to www.patreon.com/Divine Prospect. And in there, we have several tiers of subscriptions. Join one of the subscriptions, right? That's what we're asking, right? And if you're current, make an upgrade, because every tier you move up, there's a host of benefits that come with that, right? And when you do that, we can unlock several back-to-school giveaways for you, including an Apple MacBook Air that I mentioned earlier. Okay, so we have a couple of bags here. I'm gonna go through them with you real quick. We did all this on the Patreon, but I'm gonna do it here with my family here. All right. All right. So we have back-to-school bags. We got 3 of them for you. We got several supplies in here. We have composition notebooks, 5 subject notebooks, folders. We got pens, pencils, markers, crayons, erasers, scissors. We have several bags of these. And then we also have, let me get it real quick. We also have the MacBook Air. All right. So when we hit 5 subscriptions, 5 upgrades, a mixture of subscription and upgrades, that's going to unlock these bags here. So we want to be able to do this over the next 2 weeks before everybody in the country, right, returns back to school. And then when we hit 10 subscriptions and or 10 upgrades, then I'll be giving out this MacBook Air. And we also have another HP laptop that will be given out as well. All right. So we got 3 bags you can win. When we hit 5, there's 3 bags that will enroll everybody into. And then when we hit 10, then the MacBook Air and the HP laptop will be available for the giveaway as well. All right. This is a great way. Now, people will say, well, why do we have to subscribe in order to get these things? because these things were not free, right? These things cost money. This is the community together, because in the Jewish community, they have what's called zedekah. So zedekah is a investment coin or investment funds that everybody in the community pitches in so that everybody's business can be successful. Every child can go to college, etc. So when we grow the Patreon, the funds that come in for the Patreon gets refunded back into the community. So the more subscriptions we have, the more upgrades we have, it goes towards buying and or reimbursing for products that are bought, so that could be given back to the people who are investing in the community, right? So that's why we're asking for those subscriptions, for those upgrades, because it helps in total the community and the giveaways, right? And this may not benefit you directly, but there's somebody in the community that needs a computer so they can do the homeschooling. Some people in the community don't even have computers, right? And school supplies. There's some parents that don't have any supplies for their kids in our community. So those who are invested in, you can get these items, and or you can have the option to say, look, I don't need it, but please give it to somebody that does. We always get emails and messages from parents that says, we don't have this, we need that, and we're always giving to them, right? And we created this program because we want to offer another option that helps to alleviate the societal ills in our community, and one of them is poor education, right? So how do we tackle that? Well, we have to create our own homeschooling system, so that way, and again, when I say homeschooling, I'm not talking about staying at home all the time and getting schooled at home. I'm saying homeschooling because it demarcates it from public school, right? With this front-facing, state-sponsored education, right? We want to be independent of that while meeting their standards, because you still got to meet the state standards. And while meeting their standards without their instruction methods and without their distractions and all the other stuff that they teach in public schools today, we have to shield our children from this, right? So the more tools that we can give them to succeed, the better. And all of this because the community's pitching in to ensure that a child that needs this gets it. All right. Okay. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. And what time is it? It is 6:23. All right. So we was here about 41 minutes. Let me see how much time I have, and I'll be right back with y'all. All right, family. So I think my family is here, so I may have to go. So I apologize for that. However, tonight I am going to pull those Clubhouse sessions, and I will schedule them for Saturday and Sunday. So there'll be one tomorrow, there'll be one on Sunday. And what I'm working on now is messages that I'll pre-record and release on the Shabbat. So if anybody needs a word on Shabbat or needs something to incorporate into their worship on Shabbat, etc., there'll be a brief word that I'll be able to give. It's going to be maybe 20 to 30 minutes long, no longer than 30 minutes, similar to the sessions we were doing a couple of years ago. And then I'll create one, and that way I'll have it delivered. So I'll work on 2 of them for next week and the week after that, right? Because I may be doing some traveling, etc. So I want to make sure that that's included as well, because one thing that we offer as a ministry is these words of encouragement, going into the word, finding out what the life application is, right? So we can yield the intended results of what we're reading in our lives. Because if the text does not give you instructions on how to apply what it's teaching, then it has failed you and you're wasting your time and you're putting these efforts and studies in vain if you can't unlock what it's trying to teach you to do. Right. So the best get that through messages that not only give you some insight, but also give you the life application behind it. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on these items for y'all so I can give it to y'all this weekend. Those of you that watch this session and presentation, thank you so much. If you can't use it, share with somebody else, or if you can use it and know somebody else that can, share it with somebody else. Let's get the description up, the upgrades up on Patreon. Let's unlock these, because, hey, the more support this gets, the more items I can purchase, and the more we can give away to those who are in need, or those who have a need, or those who desire to get them as well. All right. So again, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for your support, family. Thank you as well, Gavin Miller, for that upgrade. Appreciate y'all. Share this with everywhere you need to share it. And let's get the word out, because, again, it's one thing to teach and give you all deep stuff, but it's another thing to get involved with the community, right? And help the needs of the community. Because if you're just going to somebody for teaching and they're not doing anything else to support the community, then it's like, okay, well, what is their motive, right? Because the motive should always be community driven. So there has to be something outside the teaching and outside the deep stuff where it actually benefits the children. It actually benefits the parents, not just in learning, but all aspects of their life. We have Jubilee Manumission, right? All these details in the description below. Jubilee Manumission for credit repair and debt elimination, naturopathic eating. If anybody has any health ailments, we're here to help and support. We have free consultations, etc. Ezra Institute, what I just shared with you, gave you the information right in front of you. Shifra and Poor's Birth Institute, if anybody interested in getting doula support or midwifery support, right, et cetera, et cetera. We have more programs and more things we're offering to give the community a well-rounded benefit when they come into this truth, where they don't have to look outside the community for these solutions. We are providing them internally. So all praise for the Most High for all the support we've getting from y'all over the past 8, 9, 10 years to be able to perform something like this, because prior to KHM, certain of these options and the way that they're being offered was not available to the community. So we want to continue to provide it to the community. All right. So I love you, family. Thank you for watching. I'll probably be on Clubhouse later on tonight as well. So follow me on Clubhouse at Divine Prospect. All right. All the details for what we discussed is in the description below. All right. All the details was in the PowerPoint as well. If there's anything that we can do to serve you, also email us at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com, and we'll be able to assist you. And if you want to keep chatting, the 24/7, 365 after party is on Patreon. We have chats, live chats that's in there that you can go on, you can chat with us, communicate with me, the other family and community that we have on there to get your questions answered, etc. So if you have questions, you wasn't able to ask it on here, sign up for the Patreon, get on the Patreon. There are live chats and we will address your questions on there as well. All right. Love you, family. Thank you for watching. Peace and shalom. Shalom, shalom.